Tonight on Missing Persons Unit, a Victorian sailor disappears at sea.
Might actually jump in the water and just have a look underneath the yacht.
Ron Anderson has either drowned or he's had to leave town in a hurry.
He looked happier when I saw him.
Yeah.
Oh, OK.
And in Queensland, where schoolboy Daniel Morcombe's abduction shocked the nation.
Must have been forced in. That's the only way he would have gone in.
Well, now his family has the support of someone special.
What they've had to endure has been beyond my comprehension.
And where is pensioner Bernie Woods?
He did swipe at one terminal yesterday.
He hasn't left his wife's side in 43 years.
Bernie, wherever you are, please come home.
Plus the teenager who befriends total strangers.
She thinks anyone wants to be her friend.
Simone may have made one friend too many. Just imagine if after 40 years your loved one disappeared without a word. Or imagine saying farewell to your husband who goes sailing and vanishes without a trace. Fortunately, most Australians who do go missing are found and reunited with their families. But try and put yourself in the position of a family who wake up every day of their life wondering who abducted someone they adore. Then picture that someone as being your teenage son or daughter. Well, you're about to meet just such a family who've woken every day just like that for 4 long years. But the search still goes on. In Queensland, 4 years ago, the disappearance of 13-year-old schoolboy Daniel Morcombe touched the nation's heart. And so began Queensland's biggest ever police investigation.
We've had over 16,000 individual leads that we've followed up every week. We get a telephone call or get information from Crime Stoppers of new areas of information.
Daniel was abducted from a bus stop near his home on the Sunshine Coast in December 2003. He was on his way to buy Christmas presents for his 2 brothers and parents. And an outpouring of public grief has seen police working round the clock to find him.
You just keep on going, you just follow up the next lead, and indeed, we're still working on material we received initially in December of 2003 that we haven't been able to either rule in or rule out.
And the calls just keep coming because of the massive public awareness campaign launched by Daniel's desperate parents.
Thank you, bikers, for such a wonderful turnout today. Your clear collective message in attending the 3rd annual Ride for Daniel is that crimes against children are the worst of the worst.
And these hundreds of bikers agree, turning out recently in support of the family.
Daniel's abduction 3.5 years ago from a spot just a short distance from here has revolted everyone. The challenge ahead is for the media outside our state borders to pick up Daniel's case and to continue to push it even harder.
And they've been doing just that for 4 years. For Queensland Police, this case is far from over.
The number of people we've spoken to, one of those persons holds a vital piece of information that could well solve this case, and we just need them to come forward and tell us.
Meanwhile, at the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit...
Hello, can I speak to Jean Anderson, please?
Yes, it's Jean Anderson speaking.
Doug is making his first call to the wife of missing sailor Ron Anderson. Ron vanished 2 weeks ago while sailing from Victoria to Queensland.
He was ringing me every day and I was there backing him up with, sending warm clothing when he got stuck in the hall.
Oh, OK.
And,
Does he have any financial problems at all?
No. I withdrew $1,000 and sent it to him probably about 3 to 4 weeks.
OK. And that's the last money you sent him?
Yeah.
Just as worrying is police have found Ron's yacht abandoned in waters north of Sydney.
We're going to attend the Port Stephens area and make inquiries with the local police there.
Yeah.
And certainly we'll be in contact with you in relation to the outcome of those investigations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. It's out of character that he rings her regularly and she hasn't received a phone call from him for a week. He has a mobile phone. That mobile phone goes to Message Bank at the moment, and it's certainly a concern for the local police and myself.
Back in Queensland, the ride for Daniel is over. But for the Morcombes and their sons Dean and Daniel's twin Bradley, the wondering is never over. Dean has moved out, so family dinners like this are even more important.
Dean comes over maybe once or twice a week for dinner, but there's always one missing. It's always a bit too quiet, I think.
And that's how it's been.
Dad, what about I Can
Ever since Daniel, seen in this home video with Bradley, vanished nearly 4 years ago.
We quickly realised that the only way to improve worse to better is to hold the family unit together as best you can. And over the journey, there's been a few laughs and some good times, and as I say, creating some new history, just the four of us. But as Denise says, we're always missing one, and we do our best to cope in those circumstances.
And that empty chair is a constant reminder of their loss.
Torn us all apart, and it's hurting everyone.
Dad keeps a lot of his emotions in, but Mum, for a while there, she wasn't the best, as you'd say.
Dean's way of coping is through tattoos, dedicating one arm to his missing brother.
The left arm's for him. Never forgotten, goodbye. And yeah, it's like a cross with 3 candles, 2's lit, 1's out, because I think it was on your birthday, first birthday, after it happened, there was 3 candles and one of them kept going out.
Daniel's twin, Bradley, feels a deeper pain. He has never spoken publicly about his feelings before tonight.
It's affected me a lot. Just see, because Dean's moved out, and so it's almost as if I'm a single child now. Yeah.
In New South Wales, back on the case of missing sailor Ron Anderson, Doug and Nikki have arrived in Port Stephens, 2 hours north of Sydney. They're joining police searching for the lost Victorian sailor.
This is Nikki.
G'day, Nikki. How are you? The story is, at this stage, we've located the yacht, which is around at Shoal Bay, and we believe there were 2 people on it, and we just haven't been able to locate the 2 persons on board. The last they were seen was carrying a dinghy up Shoal Bay Beach, and nothing since, and that's, what, 7 days ago, so...
Oh, OK.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one, this one.
Their only clue is Ron's abandoned yacht.
We'll just have a bit of a look about the vessel and maybe around the ocean floor that's around the vicinity, and we'll go from there.
In Queensland, not a day goes by that Daniel Morcombe's parents don't relive that tragic afternoon.
Well, here we are. It's 2:10. It's a Sunday. You can see how busy the road is. This is the last spot Danny was seen alive.
Daniel came down here about 1:30 on Sunday, the 7th of December. He was waiting to catch a bus to go down. He wanted to get a haircut and some Christmas presents. About 1 kilometre down the road, a bus was broken down, but Daniel couldn't see that bus was broken down. So he'd been waiting here for about 40 minutes. At 2:10, a replacement bus came past, drove past Daniel and didn't stop. About 3 minutes later, another bus came past and Daniel had disappeared. He wasn't here at the bus stop. 3
lost minutes that devastated the family.
Well, I probably drive past here every day or every second day, and I only occasionally stop and clean Daniel's plaque and pick up some old flowers and so forth, letters and parcels. But it's not where Daniel is. He's not buried here. To me, it's just the last spot that we know he was.
It's clear the pain of reliving the nightmare is unbearable, but they know there is no other choice.
When the second bus had driven past, the bloody bus didn't stop.
A broken down bus, another that didn't stop. Twists of fate which conspired to snatch the young schoolboy.
I don't think whatever the man said to us would help. I mean, he didn't stop. Now Daniel's not here. It's not going to help. It's not going to bring him back.
Back in New South Wales, at Port Stephens, Doug and Nikki joined that police search to sweep Ron's yacht for clues. The yacht was found drifting here at Shoal Bay, but there was no sign of Ron or his deckhand.
Brett, you go on. Just the only person. Just have a quick scan through it. We'll see if there's some sort of evidence to suggest that they've, you know, met with foul play or something like that.
All of Ron's things are still here.
Hasn't been ransacked or anything.
All right, what we might do is just jump in the water and just have a look underneath the yacht.
With no sign of life on board, police wonder what's hidden below. Meanwhile, back in Queensland, at the bus stop where 13-year-old Daniel Morcombe was abducted, his dad Bruce is pleading for this man to come forward.
A number of witnesses in the cars and in the buses have observed the shadowy figure standing behind Daniel, leaning against this rock.
The man has never been identified.
He has a gaunt, tanned complexion, unkempt, wavy hair. That's the person that we're looking for. He's the person standing there leaning against the rock. He was the closest person, we believe, making contact with Daniel, and then he's gone. There were reports of this car associated with a white-styled courier van. They were parked just across the road together in conversation.
These cars have never been found. Neither has Daniel's watch.
Daniel was carrying this silver fob watch with a gold engraving saying Dan on it. He also had a brown Billabong wallet with about $100 to $150 cash in it that he'd saved up from working doing passion fruits before and after school.
Daniel's parents are convinced someone must have seen something.
Come forward, get this guilt off your conscience. Someone has an answer. Just come forward with an answer for us. Thank you.
So that our family has some peace and we can lay Daniel to rest.
Good.
At Port Stephens, police have finished searching underneath Ron's yacht.
Sarge, can't see anything down there, mate. There's no lines except the anchor line.
We'll secure it and take it back to the station.
But just as it all looks hopeless, local yachties give police their first break.
Paul Dingy was over there all night. And I thought the young fella gone off for, you know, to see the guys. The old fella stayed on board because he wasn't overly interested in having a night out, you know.
With the yacht now in quarantine, Doug and Nikki investigate their only lead.
The fellow that's missing, we had a beer with him here the other day.
You think that would be the gentleman? Yeah. Okay. Would that be the same person you think you were talking to there?
He looked happier when I saw him.
No.
Oh, okay.
Did he mention what sort of boat he owned?
I said, is that your boat out there? He said, yes. And he made references that he hadn't, the crew had gone the day before. I don't know if it was one or two, or I assume it was one person.
He didn't mention a name at all or anything like that?
That's now 3 separate sightings. And if Ron or his deckhand were here, they would have signed in. Jackpot. They've got the deckhand's name, and there's even an address. Back on Queensland's Sunshine Coast,
just sort of going through them now.
Task Force detectives investigating Daniel Morcombe's abduction are busy logging new tips.
Nearly 4 years, which is unique to have such a complex and ongoing investigation with dedicated investigators for that length of time.
5,000 people interviewed, and there's a record $250,000 reward on offer.
One of those persons holds a vital piece of information that could well solve this case, and we just need them to come forward and to give us that information that may put Bruce and Denise at ease a little bit. I mean, you could never be at ease, but to finally find out what happened to Daniel would be some comfort to them.
Back on the New South Wales Central Coast, police have had a breakthrough in their search for 73-year-old yachtie Ron Anderson.
A local lady who works at the visitors centre up here has 99% positively identified the older gentleman as coming in there on Sunday morning and stating that he wanted to get back to Sydney urgently. She's then given him several options, and he said, no, that's not quick enough. I'll have to make further arrangements. She asked him whether they had access to a motor vehicle, and he said no, that they were on a yacht moored around at Shoal Bay. So that's positive news.
It's a strong lead, but why was he in such a hurry to leave town?
It's a bit of a worry just because we just have no idea where he's gone. He's left his boat, it's all open, just completely out of character.
Nikki's eyewitness is now their best hope of solving this case. So, Nikki needs to interview her. It's a significant day for Bruce and Denise Morcombe.
Hi Denise,
Hi
I'm
Sarah, how are
from
you?
the Federal Police.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This
Hey, Sarah.
Hi Bruce, nice to
Bruce.
meet you.
You too. Please, come in.
Sarah Whalen is a counsellor working with the Australian Federal Police. She's developing a support program for friends and families of missing people.
Can you tell me a bit more about what happened that day?
This is the first time Denise and Bruce Morcombe have ever spoken to a counsellor. They do it in the hope that their experience will help others.
I remember the boys got up and had breakfast, and I remember putting the clothes out on the line even, and Daniel said to me, I think his last words were, do you know what Dad bought you from a magazine that he'd bought the week before? And I said, no, I don't. I remember him walking down the path to go to work, and that was it.
And that was it. Chilling echoes etched in a loving mum's memory, replayed over and over again.
Bruce and I decided to walk from home and walk up our drive, because it was light then. Checked the area, walked from home to the bus stop and looked in all the shrub that we could see, and we thought maybe...
We thought maybe walking on the side of the road, you know, a car had clipped him or something, and that. Let's find what's left of the poor bugger and deal with it from there.
Every family that would watch your story, it's every parent's worst nightmare for that to happen. And is it still now that feeling in the pit of your stomach?
That pain is always there, but you just learn to live with it.
Okay. Some families of missing people talk about the constant triggers that, I mean, there's everyday reminders that Daniel's not here, but just random things that you can't anticipate, like seeing something on the news where they might link Daniel's case with another case. Or,
and they'll bring up Daniel's photo.
One of the worst things that I live with is, and it's to do with the not knowing, and unfortunately in Daniel's disappearance, his case is often linked with pedophile activity, and you just wonder what the hours and the days brought for him.
Back in Port Stephens, the eyewitness confirmed that Ron came to the tourist office trying to get back to Sydney.
If you can make contact with all the rental car companies that work out of Newcastle Airport to see if Anderson or Turnbull have actually rented a car.
While Steve checks the airlines, on the wharf, the forensic team focus on Ron's yacht.
Today we're going to do an examination recording of the vessel by way of note-taking, photographs, sketches, measurements and collection of fingerprints, DNA and other physical evidence which may be present.
It's a painstaking process. Every inch of the boat needs to be dusted for prints.
Hopefully that we'll end up with a result on the exhibits that we've collected today.
If they match a print to their database, police will know who was on the yacht with Ron before he vanished. Meanwhile, back in Queensland, the Morcombes are doing something no parent should ever have to do. Storing their missing child's things in the hope that one day he'll come home.
Today I'm driving down to a storage shed that we've got, and I'm going to be taking all of Daniel's belongings down there. So they're really safe down there, and I mean, all of his belongings won't fit him, all his clothes we're the wrong size if he does come back, so I'll just keep them down there. I know they're safe.
It's taken 4 years to find the strength to pack up Daniel's belongings. And this moment is hardest of all.
You still have those memories, but unfortunately he never made his 14th birthday, you know, and it's just such a cruel way to leave a sentence unanswered, you know. We just don't have an end to it. And that's what we're working so hard to do is put these people away and find Danny's remains and lay the poor bugger to rest.
Packed in this box are Daniel's clothes, his treasured toys and the special things he made at school. Precious reminders his mum and dad can't bear to part with.
They're really not negotiable. They'll be part of our family, and if we don't know anything, they'll probably be buried with us.
As they lock the door on memories of happier days, Bruce and Denise will continue to try and solve the mystery of Daniel's disappearance. In New South Wales, a new case has the Missing Persons Unit on full alert. Pensioner Bernie Woods has vanished, and Kelly is interviewing his frantic wife, Julie.
We were standing in the kitchen, we were talking, and he said, oh, I'll just go and won't come back, I'll sleep in the car. I said, fine. And an hour later, I tried to ring him on the mobile, and there was nothing. And it's not like him to go away all night. He's never done it before. Yeah.
In fact, Bernie hasn't spent a night away from his wife in 43 years.
The report says that he's on some medication. Can you just explain to me what?
He's on fluid tablets that he has to have because he's got Meniere's disease, and he's got to have his fluid tablet every day. And I know he didn't have any yesterday. And if he has too much, like tea or coffee or water, then he'll just drop. And if Bernie is on his own when he faints, he could die.
We'll come out and visit you. It'll probably be about an hour.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
We're really concerned at the moment. According to his wife, he requires some pretty serious medication in regards to an illness that he blacks out.
So there's no time to lose. If Bernie collapses while he's driving, anything could happen. Meanwhile, back in Queensland,
I've received your email with
the Morcombes are still working to help families of missing people.
Is that live at the minute, or has that still got a little bit of work to go on that?
Bruce and Denise sold their business and their home so they could launch the foundation they named after their son.
One of the aims of the foundation is educating children on child safety and abduction. So far we've sent out around 500 DVDs all around Australia, and what we do with the schools, we ask them to show that to the different classes, and that way children have a good idea on protective behaviour messages.
It's a huge step for one family, but the Morcombes believe it's a small price to pay if it saves just one child.
That's why we keep sending out our DVDs on child safety and abduction, and just keep trying to reinforce that message to parents and the teachers and the school kids that it doesn't matter, Daniel was innocent and it can just happen to anyone, and we just don't want this to happen to another family. That's what drives us.
Meanwhile, in New South Wales, on the case of missing pensioner Bernie Woods, his wife Julie hasn't told anyone else that her husband has disappeared.
Hi, Julie, is it?
So Kelly and Mark are her only support.
I'm very worried about him. He's all I've got, and I'm all he's got, so I just thought he might have, after a day, to ring me, let me know where he is or if he's all right, but there's nothing. That's why I'm worried.
Does he have any other family, like brothers or sisters or anything around the Sydney area?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Any close friends that he'd be likely to stay with?
No.
Nothing?
No friends, no. We go out together, we go bingo together and...
In fact, because of Bernie's fainting illness, he and Julie do almost everything together.
He just sort of blacks out, just blacks out for a couple of minutes. Because we went to bingo one day and he just sort of flopped on the table and then he just got up and he had a headache. That's why I'm worried, because I don't know if he had a tablet on Tuesday, but I didn't have any yesterday, and today's the second day, so I don't know what happened.
Bernie was Julie's first and only love, and now she can't bear the pain of not being with him.
We got married when I was 16, and we had rough times. We got through them now. So I don't know where he is. I just don't know. I'd walk and walk and walk anywhere just to find him. He's just gone. He's never done it before. First time ever.
The Morcombes are doing what they do most days. Search for Daniel.
We're out today with our banners. We've got the date for Daniel coming up on the 31st of October, so we like to put our banners and posters up as an awareness day, and this gives people a good chance to see what's happening with the foundation and what functions that we have on.
Hundreds of posters promote the Day for Daniel and focus community awareness on his abduction. At the entrance to Australia Zoo, their good friends Steve and Terry Irwin built a constant reminder, a hibiscus tree and plaque dedicated to Daniel.
Hey guys, how you doing?
G'day, Terry.
Good to see you.
You too.
Goodness sakes, look at you. Let's do a photograph for our Crikey magazine, because that goes into newsagents now, and let's do a story there too. So we might as well, you know, get the message out everywhere that we can.
Terrific. And Terry knows all about personal loss.
Each person in their life will suffer some form of tragedy, but what they've had to endure has been beyond my comprehension. I think the fact that they're going out and talking to kids about how to be safe and self-defense courses and stranger danger and all of the rules that we need to focus on with our children, I think that is most admirable, and it's something that I would really like to support and I'm passionate about as well, and something that I do with my kids regularly.
And while many might consider Terry a heroine, she is in awe of the Morcombes.
I think they're tremendous role models for anyone who is trying to accomplish the impossible, and I'm sure wouldn't see themselves as heroes, and that's what makes them so special. And so for us, kids are a #1 priority. I know over Bindy's birthday, we let kids come into the zoo free of charge because that's part of celebrating the family, and that's what Steve was all about. His family and the wildlife and environment, that was his life. And so we join the Morcombes in standing up to defend families and protect our children.
And it's this kind of unwavering support that keeps Denise and Bruce going. Back in New South Wales, 4 hours into her search for Bernie Woods, Kelly has moved to his favourite bingo hall.
Just to check if he'd been into the club in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Are you able to check that?
Yeah, I can, yeah, definitely. He did swipe at one terminal yesterday.
Bingo. Kelly's hunch was spot on.
Are we able to go in and just have a look at the back of the bingo game just to see if he's there? Oh, great.
In the hall, it's heads down. All the regulars are here, doing what they love best. But Bernie is not here. He's now been missing for more than 24 hours.
He's never been away from home for a night at all. So I don't know. Just don't know where he is.
At the New South Wales Missing Persons Unit, a late-breaking case has everyone on edge.
Yes, good morning. May I speak to Dallas, please?
Constable Joe Dawson is calling the distraught mother of missing teenager Simone.
Right, so you normally have contact with her?
Not for 6 weeks. There was no argument or anything. She's just left.
And what's even more worrying is that Simone suffers from bipolar.
But she does have complex mental health conditions.
Right. Is she on any medication for that?
Whether she takes it or not is something I don't know.
Now, does she have any specific areas that she normally goes to or friends that she would normally go to?
No, she doesn't have any friends. That's part of her condition where she's not able to sustain friendships.
Simone's mum, Dallas, also reveals Simone has the dangerous habit of picking up total strangers. And Joe knows that is asking for trouble.
She's concerned that due to her mental health history, that she would meet somebody on the train and possibly go home with that person. That can lead into a dangerous situation, especially being a 17-year-old girl. It makes her a bit more of a victim.
Meanwhile, over in Sydney's southwest, Kelly and Mark are back on the streets looking for pensioner Bernie Woods.
He is in a car, so it does give him the ability to travel a long way in a relatively short distance of time. Without his medication, we're really concerned because it's been a couple of days now. He needs to go home.
And just as it all looks hopeless, Kelly gets the call she's been waiting for.
Hello? Oh, really? Did they just get that from the picture that we dropped off? Oh, great. All right, no worries. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
As a result of us putting the flyers out at Bonnyrigg Plaza, the pharmacy there has notified the police that Mr Woods filled out a prescription this morning for his medication. He's driving around and he's in the local area, so he's not too far away. It's just a matter of now trying to find him to get him home so his wife knows that he's okay as well. So, yeah, it's great news that he's having his medication.
In a city of millions, it wouldn't take much for a 17-year-old as naive as Simone to run into real strife. Joe is now hoping Simone's mum, Dallas, will be able to piece together the 17-year-old's movements the day she vanished.
She was going to go to the employment agency, so she phoned me at work and said to me, "Oh, you've only left me $10. And I said, $10? That's okay, it's only $4 each way in the bus. And she went, "Oh, okay then," and hung up, and that was it. We come home, she was gone.
Does Simone generally go away like this?
She has once earlier this year, but has several mental health issues, and one of them is vulnerable personality disorder and rapid cycling bipolar. She thinks anyone wants to be her friend, which can be dangerous.
Well, that's certainly our concerns, is that she's going to go home or go off with someone.
And after 6 weeks on the run, that's Dallas's concern too. She just wants to know her daughter is safe and well.
With that, I suppose it's just the not knowing, which makes it really difficult to carry on. But if we know that everything's okay, that'll be fine. That's all we need to know.
Meanwhile, in her search for Bernie Woods, Kelly has raced over to the shopping centre where he bought medicine to prevent fainting only 2 hours ago.
He's sleeping in his car as far as we're aware. His wife's really concerned, so that's why we do want him back home, or at least know where he is so we can let his wife know. Do you reckon that'd be like a 92 mil?
But she's too late. Bernie has gone. When she gets to the office, though, the phones are running hot with new leads.
I went around the shop this morning and a lady that went to St John's yesterday, he was spotted there. And a few people that I spotted in the shopping centre, they only seen him yesterday, so I thought, oh, yeah, I just wish he'd ring and say, oh, I'm all right or something.
So, with only hours before nightfall, it could be another freezing night in the car for Bernie Woods.
She's pretty stressed out at the moment. She really misses him. She's been sleeping on the lounge, waiting for him to come through the front door. He's going to his local RSLs and clubs, and hopefully someone will contact us soon. I think that's really the best way that we're going to have a chance of finding him.
And back at home, Julie is really feeling the anguish.
Bernie, wherever you are, please come home. I don't know where you are. I've looked everywhere for you. Please ring me or just come home, please.
Across town, in the case of missing teenager Simone, Constable Joe Dawson has just had a breakthrough. Simone has been hiding in this house, just a few kilometres from her mum.
Go knock on the door. There's 2 people there.
Before they knock, Nikki checks the back, in case Simone decides to do a runner.
All right. Hi, how are you going? I'm Constable Dawson. I'm from the Missing Persons Unit. Just wanting to know if I can come in and make some inquiries.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep, no problems. Thanks for that. What? Hi, how are you going? Hi. No, hold on.
Back at Simone's hideaway, the heat is well and truly on.
You've been listed as a missing person.
Yeah, I know that. Right, well, us as police need to cite you, all right, in person. That's why we're here.
Police want to know what Simone's doing living here with these two, a 15 and 17-year-old.
I kind of thought she didn't have a home. She was just moved in or some shit.
we just was here. We just walked in. She's like, "Hello, I'm on this, on this, on this."
Yeah,
and
made
just
herself
thinking
at
of
home. She made herself at home.
She cooked for us and shit, so we're happy. we just kick back, relax.
After hours of negotiation, Joe has managed to talk Simone into coming home. 6 weeks after she ran off,
Hi, Dallas.
Simone is finally back with her mum. It's a delicate moment. Because Simone's a serial runaway, Dallas knows not to overreact. But she still wants answers.
What was the excitement of living on the streets?
It was just meeting people and how they live their life and comparing it to my life. I reckon it's a lot better to be home.
From parents' point of view, because we're older, we see it as really, really dangerous.
Like being pretty and all that, they just take advantage of you. Yeah.
It's a great result, but achieved only after weeks of pain.
I think it helps if the kids just nowadays just keep in contact, just a phone call.
Yeah,
even just a sign to say that they're okay.
Meanwhile, in the search for Bernie Woods, there's been a breakthrough.
We're heading back out to see Julie, Bernie's wife. We've got reports that Bernie turned up this morning. He's fine. He's back home, so we're going out to get some details and see what's been going on.
Hey, Julie. How you doing? Julie, this is Adam. Hi, nice to meet you, Julie. Bernie, am I glad to see you? How you going? This is Adam. So how you feeling? Everything's calm?
Yeah, we just sort out a few things, that's all. It's 43 years, we've been under a lot of pressure lately and it's just got to me. A few things were said, so...
Yeah. Can you tell me where you were, or...?
I was in the hospital for a little while, not for long. They tested me for stress pains, told me to take it easy. And I met this guy in hospital and he offered me to stay there for a couple of days, so I went there.
So when did you come home?
This morning.
This morning.
It was an emotional moment for Bernie's loving wife.
I opened the door, a big cuddle and kiss, and loved him. And tears. A lot of tears, yeah. He got one foot in the door. That was all, one foot in the door. Yeah. It's too quiet here without him. I'm not used to being on my own. And I love the company.
Been apart?
No, we've never been apart. We're always together. Always together.
So it's hard when there's only two of you too.
Yeah.
There's lines and numbers and stuff, people you can ring and talk to that help when the stress gets too much. It just helps. Sometimes it takes the cap off it.
Yeah,
it's good advice from Mark, but it looks like they won't be needing it. A 43-year-old love match, as strong as ever.
It's great. Bernie's back with Julie, back where he belongs. The love affair continues, so we'll be on to another job.
Back in Queensland, at the end of a long day, Bruce Morcombe is feeding Daniel's horse, Bullet.
There's certain things that you just can't leave behind. It's as though Danny's part of those. And one of those is, of course, his horse. It was probably his prized possession. It was something that comforted him. When you roused on him, you know, you'd sort of wonder where he's gone off to, and he'd be down talking to his horse. So he always talks to you. He sort of grunts and neighs, and it's as though Danny's talking to us. Come on. If we left him behind, it's as though we're leaving Danny behind. So he's always coming with us.
Meanwhile, in the search for sailor Ron Anderson, Nikki is back in Port Stephens, where there's been a harrowing new development.
Just received some information about a possible sighting of a body off one of the little beaches around here, so we're just going to go check it out now.
Locals report seeing something floating in the water, right where Ron's yacht was found abandoned.
We just got a call from Coastal Patrol, just up the top there. They state that a man called them up, stating he was pulling his boat in at the boat ramp and saw what he thought was a body.
After 12 days, police wonder if they have finally found Ron Anderson. Up in Queensland, at the Morcombe home, Denise and Bruce are spending time with Daniel the only way they can. Happy times. A house full of innocent children. Priceless memories. Daniel's voice. A reminder of the time when their family was complete.
Before Daniel went missing, I probably thought the world was a perfect place. I mean, everyone has their problems and things like that, but now I'm not very trusting of a lot of people. I probably think that any person that I meet could be that person that took Daniel. Even people that have helped us, I sort of wonder why are these people doing this?
4 devastating years, and still impossible to stop hoping.
At the moment, I think we're sort of just in limbo. We don't know whether he's dead or whether he's alive. And we hear reports of overseas children that have been found after 4, 5, 6 years, and that's what we just keep our hope up for. But until we've actually got that answer, until I can physically see, until the police can physically tell me they've found Daniel's remains, I don't think I can really believe that he is dead. I do hold hope. I mean, my head tells me that Daniel's dead, but my heart tells me that there is hope that he may still be out there.
And it's this eternal hope and the incredible community spirit that drives Daniel's parents.
I think we have all been very patient in letting justice take its course. But I think it's time. It's time we had an arrest. It's time we had some answers as to what happened to Daniel on the 7th of December 2003. It's time Daniel was brought home.
Every year, over 30,000 people go missing. Have you seen 34-year-old Warren Long, who disappeared from Drummoyne, New South Wales in 1993? Or 72-year-old Margaret Sarnek, last seen in Georgetown, Tasmania in 1975. And 43-year-old Stephen Lockie, missing from Elizabethfield, South Australia in 1994. If you have any information, please call 1-800 333 000.